Bonjour. Okay. So I had a channeled song this morning, Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. I'm sure all of you know that song. If not, look it up, listen to it, or just read the lyrics. That is the song that I was channeling this morning. So let's get into it, shall we? Actually, I want to get into these first, get a bit more understanding on this particular message. What is this message for the collective, please? All right, so fixed in the middle. So fixed signs are, what is that? Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo. Says no, now is not the time. Middle of the season. So this is when, normally when I see, like say when nines come out in a reading and I say you're closing out a chapter, but this is middle of the season. So this is something that's like smack bang in the middle of a cycle. It's not the beginning of a cycle and it's not the end of a cycle. So there is things happening right now that are the middle is kind of what I imagine the eye of the storm to be. So there's a storm all around you, but there's this, eye in the middle that's peaceful. You think the storm is over, but there's more coming. And I don't say that to scare you. I think that whatever this message is about, it's something that is part of your purpose, your drive towards your purpose and getting it done. It's like that 10 of Wands where I'm struggling to get my words out. This is crazy. You might feel like you're struggling right now and you're not really understanding it, but it's because they want you to understand that you're in the middle of a season right now. You're not meant to see the fruits of your labor yet. But they want you to be bold. And this card says count on it. So this is something that is destined. This is part of the plan. But you're in the midst of it right now. You're in like a pivotal point of the journey that is needing to be overcome. Yeah, track, steady forward movement. Number 3, go the distance, direct route, autopilot, traveling, I think I can, on track, and focal point. So you are in the middle of a season right now in your life that they want you to keep going. It's like that, I think I can, that little tank engine. I am struggling. I really feel like this is something that you need to push through. It might feel like a battle right now, but it's because you're in the thick of it. You're in the middle of it right now. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep going, stay on track, and keep pushing forward. You will get there. Woman, a person you know, girlfriend, fiance, spouse, love interest, feminine energy. 29, the letter A, but this could be what you're on track towards. Perhaps there's a woman that you are wanting to go towards that perhaps at the moment, in you being in the middle of a season right now, you're trying to get your shit together and it feels like you're battling every day with this. It might even feel like you're not getting any closer to coming towards this person, but it's because you're putting in the hard work now. they want you to keep going. This kind of is all based around this person here that you are hoping to work things out with. It's like a feminine energy is your motivation to keep going. All right, number 17, the raccoon, a problem solver. So this is to confirm middle of the season. So right now, you might feel over, and the letter A again, you might feel like you're, I just heard scraping to get by, but it's actually developing your problem solver skills. This is also about being curious and asking questions and adapting. Creative, entrepreneur, mischievous, scavenger. Maybe you have a bit of a mischievous spirit, but resourceful and clever. I feel like they're asking you to be intuitive and resourceful right now, because this is an important part of your journey. All parts of the journey are important, but because you're in the middle of the season, it can feel like there's no end in sight, but they want you to keep going. This actually, to me, feels like you are persevering, even though things might seem tough right now. And it might even be that it's like I'm seeing someone scraping together everything they can to push forward. Motivation, willpower, determination, discipline, a go-getter attitude, someone that instead of looking at the problems, you think you are looking towards how to solve them instead of just feeling like you can't move forward. This feels like someone that has a very strong spirit, that despite things being difficult at the moment, you do have this sense of steadily moving forward and you're finding problems to your solutions. This is what's really being activated in you right now. Okay, so you've got Princess of Water, number 23 and number 16. The Princess of Water is a Pisces, but doesn't have to be. This is within 6 to 9 months. So maybe this middle of the season has been going for the last 6 to 9 months for you, that you've really been chugging forward and pushing against the grain in the hopes that you are making forward movement, even though you haven't seen the fruits of your labor yet. Someone that's really tending to their garden, the Seven of Pentacles, planting the seeds and working on their garden. They're not seeing the fruit of it yet, but they're putting the work in. That's what this is feeling like. But February 22nd to March 21st could be significant, and this is also during the winter. But this is the Moon card in this deck. So again, this is things that you can't see. It's putting in the work and not seeing the reward yet, but it's not because it's not there. It's because they're wanting you to put the work in and be consistent and kind of like head down, bum up, do the work and be, I keep hearing reliable, and that's not what I mean, but they might want you to be reliable, but prove to yourself that you can be dependable and really put the work in and keep going. But this is also about intuition and your sensitivity. So it could be something that really is activating those parts of you as well, that they're wanting you to strengthen your intuition and tap more into your compassionate side, because you're metamorphosing right now with the butterfly. They want you to be open to change, because that's what you're... That's what you're going through right now. It's like your soul is evolving and they're trying to get you to rise up and push through what feels like a never-ending, I keep hearing uphill battle as well. Because you're in the middle of a season, it feels as though, like I said, there's no end in sight, but they're wanting you to persevere and push through because you're reinventing yourself. And it's almost like this middle of the season when everything feels the most difficult and they're wanting you to persevere, you then on the other side of that will be inspired by the things that perhaps you've heard of. I'm seeing someone who watches a lot of videos on, like, say podcasts or something like that, where people are talking about the most difficult seasons in your life are the ones that help create growth in you and create evolution in your soul. That's exactly what they want for you. Because then on the other side of this, you'll look back and you'll go, okay, everything was difficult because it was teaching me about myself, and now I know how I want to live my life and who I want in my life. But yeah, they want you to be open to this change because luck is on your side. The double rainbow, number 16. This is all divinely in, this is divine intervention. Everything has been perfectly timed to be this way because they want you to ascend through this, as above, so below. Everything is playing out the way you're exactly where you're supposed to be, essentially. It's a long way around to get to that. But basically, everything is coming together the way it's supposed to. You just can't see the final product yet. All of this steady forward movement is basically putting you through your paces so that you can then come out the other side a stronger person. And it's all planned this way for you so that you can see that hard work and dedication will get you where you want to be, even if you can't see it yet. I actually feel like this collective really has a positive outlook, thinking, I've just got to keep going, I've just got to keep going, and you're persevering. All right, the woman. Let's get this feminine energy. Because I really feel like this feminine energy is your driving force. I hate that when you can feel, oh, there it is. You can feel something on you, but you can't find it. There we go. That was annoying me. Number 27, magnifying glass, get more info. So this feminine energy might be someone that you're trying to get more, do your research on, because this is someone that you have an interest in, that's your motivator to keep going with this. I don't want to say it's a struggle, but you kind of just, you might feel a bit like you're on a hamster wheel at the moment, pushing forward and not really seeing any changes, but there's something in you, your soul is telling you to keep going. And I feel like part of the motivation is this feminine energy. But this is all about clarity and very important details. So for you, I feel like this magnifying glass to me reflects that you're looking in on this feminine energy, trying to understand where their head is at and basically do your research. You're trying to find out more information on this feminine energy. What for? Number 20, Milky Way. This is all about networking and marketing. Social media, publicity, internet, fame, expand, spotlight, innumerable, connected, exposure. I think that's this feminine energy. If they have some kind of platform and they are on social media in some way and they're doing their work on social media, this is someone that you have access to, and you're trying to get more information about them through these avenues. Number 19 and the letter A again. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 with the letter A. So that's important. The eagle, challenge the status quo. Maybe this feminine is someone that does something a bit outside the box. It's not a normal 9 to 5. It's not a normal kind of what society would deem a normal kind of job. But this is someone that has clear vision and perspective. And this says past, present, future. So this could be someone from your past that's not currently in your present since you're doing your research on them, but there's someone you want to see in your future. And as well, I feel as though they're about to present an opportunity for you, and perhaps you've even just of recent developed some new hope towards this feminine. And as well, this says proud. And automatically, I feel as though whatever you can see this feminine doing, you feel quite, proud of them, as if you've seen their evolution and it inspired you to go through your own evolution. It pushed you to grow. And that's what you're doing right now. You're pushing through, you're making steady forward movement because you want to go the distance, because you've seen this feminine go the distance and go through a lot of changes. And that could be how they've developed on a public platform. Queen of Earth, they could be a Taurus, but any earth sign a year from now during the spring, but we're in spring now here in Australia, April 22nd to May 21st, and this is Venus. And the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a spiritual master. He leads in more of a philosophical way rather than a physical way. He or she can be very stable. I feel like you see this feminine as stable. And as well, the Hierophant is about marriage and commitment. So that could be something, even if it's not marriage, it's a commitment that you want to have with this person. And Venus, this being ruled by Venus, that's all about love and beauty and how you love and how you need to be loved. So I believe that this is something that you have been going over in your mind when it comes to this feminine energy. Okay, let's get into it. What is this connection, please? What is this feminine energy? What is this connection, please? Passion. Insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. So this is something that is, you clearly have a chemistry, a connection that is very strong, very magnetic. Self-indulgence, focus on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. I think that's what you're in the midst of now. You're in the middle of a season. You're working through certain aspects of your shadow. They might even be presented to you in some way for you to learn certain lessons because you're in the middle of it at the moment, and it's helping you work on your self-worth. You're really focusing on yourself too and trying to heal through this, and it could be over it's really, this just feels to me as if the collective I'm speaking to, you are learning about yourself and you're trying to understand things at the moment. I really feel like you're going through certain things that it's almost like a deeper part of you understands why this is difficult right now, or that you're having to push forward despite not seeing the end in sight, because a big part of you knows that this is an important part that you need to push through, because you're learning about yourself and learning about the spiritual connection of this with this feminine. But you're very much focused on yourself and getting yourself to a certain place in your life that you have struggled to get to, that stability, that permanence. And through doing all this, you're healing through it. Yeah, boat, receiving what you need, progression arriving, moving on, closure issues. So perhaps this is someone as well where you lack closure. There was never really any kind of conversation to close this out properly or understand each other and your points of views and perspectives. Maybe this is something that you're wanting to create, an opportunity for you to actually get closure on some things with this feminine. And perhaps that's what you're also feeling you need to help you get through this next stage of your life. Addiction. So under passions, you've got addiction. So this could be something that you could have an addictive personality when it comes to or just in general, anything in life. If you never do anything by half measures, you just go all in and you're excessive with stuff. That's an addictive personality. It doesn't just have to be substances. It's kind of like, even with, I don't know, I'm seeing someone that's very loud and in your face when they're telling jokes. Like, they're really animated. Like, they can't just, there's no subtlety to it. It's just very like full on. So if that's your kind of personality where you do things in excess, but the passion that this connection had created a lot of codependency and obsession with each other, and they're saying that it was causing blocks in your life. And I think as well, if you're feeling, because I'm not really feeling like communication right now, so it's kind of like you're feeling you're restraining yourself from reaching out to this feminine right now because you still know that you have work to do. Especially if you know that one of your blocks is being quite controlling or obsessive. Self-indulgence. Mirrors. Justin Timberlake. So you're mirroring each other. So don't forget, this is the universe's perspective on this connection. Relationships reflect our wounds. So the addiction side of you was heightened or even initiated by the wounds that were brought up from this connection. And you mirrored that to each other. So just how this feminine reflected to you where you were still broken inside, you would have done the same for them. And when you go into separation, you both then will keep getting shown those same lessons in other people for you to have that aha moment and go, oh, this is something I actually need to work on, instead of blaming the other one. Vote. And maybe this is part of the moving on, wanting to create closure for the past with this feminine by going over the things that you are now aware was just wounds within you, not just blaming them for everything. Like, a conversation is needed to go, I understand now why we were hurting each other, and it's because it wasn't the lack of love, it's because we had pain within us that we were reflecting back to each other, and we didn't know how to express those pains in a healthy way. Love. This is all about unconditional love. affection, attraction, another card about passion and self-love as well. But it almost feels as if you're coming into your oneness. Like this feels very like inner union, you balancing your masculine and feminine, and you're seeing things from a new perspective now, which is allowing you to see your feminine from a different perspective. And that could also be why because you're watching them, you can see them on some kind of platform, you're understanding now that what you can see is making you proud of them, because you're realizing what they've overcome to get to the place they are now, where they're showing up for themselves in the way that they are. And then that's inspiring you to grow. And it's making you also realize how much love you still have for this feminine, because instead of being envious or bitter or resentful, you're watching them shine and you're proud of them, and you still feel that love for them and that passion where it's like, instead of wanting to control them and possess them, you want to be alongside them and shine, see them shine, but be together. Does that make sense? But karmic relationship, I think you put them in the category as a karmic because of the triggers, because of the turmoil, and because you held on to that resentment and you kind of blamed this feminine for a long time. You're at a point now where you're letting that go, because by working on yourself, doing the shadow work, reflecting and loving you, you're realizing now, you can't help but realize that things weren't the way, what you were holding on to and the bitterness was misdirected. It was that you needed to work on you. Hang on, I want to get one more for that. Hammer. So the fact that you self-sabotaged this relationship because the arguments just kept repeating. But this is something that you want to work on and rebuild. It's like what I'm seeing in my head is someone knocking a building down, but then building it back up again. And also like when people break something, but then they glue it back together. I can't remember what the technique's called. I think it's Japanese, or is it Chinese? But it's like they'll put something back together with gold. So all the little cracks are like these little gold streaks. So say you break a vase and they put the vase together, but they put it back together using gold. So the vase actually looks more beautiful than it was originally, because yes, it's got cracks all through it, but the cracks are put together with gold. And so you recreate the vase, but it's more beautiful than it was before. That's what I'm feeling. It's got a name, but I can't remember it. It's got that feeling to it, like things were broken between the two of you, but you want to rebuild them and make it better this time, and that's really beautiful. Healing heart on the bottom, exactly. Healing from heartbreak and freedom from the toxic relationship in the sense of how it was in the past, and also breaking free from addictions and toxic behaviors. All right, let's see what the energy is around you right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so blocked. What is the energy around this collective, please? Experiencing a breakup. So you could very well have just broken up from a karmic situation, but it could be that you're reliving the breakup that you had with this feminine in the past, and especially if you're reviewing what you two went through and what caused the breakup. honeymoon, and I've also allocated this to be a travel card because of the plane. So there could be an element of, after this breakup, there was actual physical distance put between you. You could have met this person at a wedding, or marriage was talked about, but which came up when the Hierophant came out, actually. So maybe marriage was a serious conversation that you two had. But as a detail, you might have a wedding coming up that is really making you think about the relationship you had with this feminine, and how that's where you wanted it to go towards, as in you two were supposed to get married. Intuition, the red flags you ignore now will come back to bite you later. So perhaps as well, you're going over the things that you realized were maybe a red flag at the time, but because you wanted it to work so much, and this could be both of you, that you were ignoring them so that you could stay together. But in the end, ultimately, obviously it had to separate. But it's like you don't want to repeat a cycle this time. It's like you want to be very considerate about any kind of moves you make towards them. Vacation, you will be they'll be back. Vacation, you will be traveling soon. So there is distance here. It doesn't have to be distance, because this is just about travel, but I really feel like, because that's come under experiencing a breakup, this is something where there's physical distance that's been put between you and this person due to this breakup, and they'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. I think that perhaps you feel that maybe this feminine is on the verge of reaching out to you, but also that you're starting to get closer to that energy of, maybe I'm ready to reach out to them. Honeymoon. Or you could have recently just had some kind of contact with them. If not a call or a message, maybe they followed you on social media again, or they liked something of yours, or alternatively, you to them. Someone is still figuring themselves out. So this is something, because this is the energy around you. I really feel like this is all the stuff that you're contemplating right now, and that's because you're in the middle of the season. It's not like you're at the end where you've had all your epiphanies, you've learned all your lessons, and you're integrating them, and you know now that you want to move forward. I think you're going over in your head all the difficulties in your life, the reasons this relationship separated, things maybe that you love about your feminine, the things you not so much love about your feminine, and then also your own traits that you do and don't love about yourself. You're in the middle of it right now. It's all up in your head, and it's something that you're really trying to work your way through and figure out. You're literally in the midst of it right now. Intuition. Love spell, you've been bewitched. But honestly, I really just think that this is your feminine. You love your feminine. I don't think that you doubt that. I mean, you could be trying to tell yourself you're not, but I actually think that you're aware you are, and it's not that you're trying to fight against it. It's more that you're still trying to figure things out. And you've got so much going on in your head. Again, it's not that the love's not there. It's, do we open this scar up again? Can we face these problems together? Have we both grown enough? These are all questions that go over in your mind, because that's to confirm the red flags you ignore now will come back to bite later. So I think your overthinking mind is going over all the aspects that went wrong in the past that makes you worry that this might be something you shouldn't reopen again. You're questioning everything right now. Again, middle of the season. You're in the midst of working all this out in your head. The love isn't the issue. It's the red flags. Can we do this again? And will it be better this time? But you're ultimately that is a hope for you. It's a wish for you that you can put this back together way more beautiful and way better than it was before. Yeah, no, it's not the right time because you're in the middle of the season. You're figuring things out right now. It's not the time to be trying to reopen something when you're not even 100% sure about it yourself. You're still, everything's in your head trying to work out what this is, how to move forward, working on your own life, all that stuff. You're still trying to figure yourself out. So it's not the time to be making any kind of offers to anyone. All right. Let's see how you view this feminine and this connection. How does this collective view the feminine and this connection, please? Well, obviously you love them. We know that much. But this is love, acceptance, and compassion. I think that's how you view them. When you think of your feminine, when you see them, your majority of your memories are how compassionate this feminine is, how receptive they were to loving you despite your flaws. They loved you in spite of your flaws and they accepted you as you were. They had a lot of love and compassion for you. That's how you remember them. Someone very warm. They just embraced you with all the love they had. Red thread bond. So you believe, I haven't had this card come out in quite a while actually. So you might actually be finding little red threads around, which is like kind of, they say that the shorter the red thread is, the closer you are to actually coming back together. So you might have been finding some like, you know, longish pieces of red thread around recently, like to the point that you've noticed it. Especially if you don't really have any kind of red clothing or anything that would explain it away. Anyway, I digress. So you really believe that this person is meant to come back into your life at some point and that it was always destined to be that way, that you two are connected by this red thread that is, it's destiny. It's fated for you two to come back together no matter how knotted, how far the string goes, no matter what, it doesn't break. You still will always find your way back to one another, no matter the difficulties. Fertility. So you might have shared a pregnancy with this feminine, because this is also about children. So they might already have a child. You two might have discussed having children together, but this is also birthing a new idea. And I think at the moment you're contemplating the idea of starting something new, because this is also about new beginnings. But even as a detail, your feminine could be quite fertile, someone that you know to be quite fertile. And if you weren't trying to have children before, it might be that you two had to be very careful because of how fertile she was or is. And I just heard as well, you might be worried that a little part of you's worried that maybe she's moved on and might be pregnant with someone else, especially if it's been a long time. Trauma. So I think as well you see this feminine as having been through quite a bit of trauma. I think you're actually recognizing too that perhaps their conflict style and the way that so say if they were quite withdrawn when they were overwhelmed or anxious, or they were someone that was quite sensitive, this is part of your realizations, working out that this person was acting out of their trauma, their wounding. They were also coming from a broken place. It wasn't just you. You're seeing it from like a higher perspective now and realizing that it wasn't to hurt you, or they weren't trying to be toxic. Just like how you would know you weren't trying to be toxic. It's just it was just trauma that you both didn't know how to express, or you might not have even really understood it fully. And that's part of the growth you've seen them go through too, because you might have noticed that they are really self-assured now, and they might have been someone that was quite timid in the past or nervous or shy, and now you're seeing them really shine and you're realizing they've done a lot of work to get to that point. This is someone that, despite how much love they had for you, they were very easily overwhelmed by it. And perhaps as well, you have memories of not treating them so well, but they still accepted you anyway. And because of that, it almost made you kind of resent them or lose a bit of respect or a lot of respect for them, because you thought, I'm treating you like crap and you're not leaving me, so what is wrong with you? That kind of thing. Red thread bond. Kind of like they loved you more than they loved themselves, and that's not, it wasn't healthy. Red thread bond. Air sign, shaman. Let me just pick that up. Okay, so to confirm red thread bond, you've got air sign and you've got shaman, which is plant medicine, Pachu Mama, sound healing. You could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or they could be. Neither of you has to be. It's just that those are the air signs. But in tarot, swords are weeks and it's mental. So this is someone that you feel like has, they might do sound healing. Maybe that's their business that they do, that you've seen them, that's their platform. They do sound healing. But you see them as a healer. Someone that perhaps as well, especially with the trauma, someone that has an overthinking mind, just like you do, that catastrophizes. But through doing this healing, you're realizing too, because that's to confirm red thread bond. So it almost feels like this is tied into everything that's happened has been destined to happen so that you two find your way back to each other. So when you look at this feminine and remember them being someone that's quite intelligent but overthinks things, gets anxious, catastrophizes, you're seeing them now as someone that's quite found their center, and they've maybe not fully healed, but they've done a lot of work on themselves, and they're more in a they're sharing their gifts with the world, basically. And that in itself is bringing you two closer together. Okay. Fertility. Lone wolf. So I think as well, you know this feminine to be someone that doesn't have like a massive circle of friends. She has maybe one or two close friends that she's close with, but this is someone that enjoys their alone time. They're not afraid to be by themselves. They like to be by themselves. And that might be something that you struggle with because you don't like being isolated, and you don't like, solitude makes you go stir crazy. But this is someone that's been acting alone, someone that you see has persevered, and through isolation, through being alone with themselves, has actually worked through a lot of stuff, and by doing so has created a new beginning for themselves. And as well, if there was some kind of trauma around a pregnancy you shared with them, that they really went into isolation. They needed that solitude to really heal out a trauma around pregnancy. And you see that perhaps before that could have been part of the resentments you held towards her. And then you've got Aries season. So that's March 20th to April 19th. So those could be, that could be a significant time for reunion, contact. You could be in Aries, they could be Sun, Moon, Rising. All right, where is this journey right now? Where is this journey right now? got 7, 1, and 2. I need to move slowly with this, but trust that I'm moving even when it seems that I'm not. And that is because you're in the middle of a season. It might feel like things are moving slowly, but remember, steady forward movement, baby steps. You are getting there. It's just taking time because it's something new. This is terrain you haven't ventured before, so you need to be easy on yourself and not try to rush through it when you want to do it properly. I'm beginning to focus on my mission, and our connection is part of that. And that is what I've been saying this whole time. This feminine is a big motivation for you to get through this and to come out the other side ready to offer something real, something stable. I'm trying to leave my comfort zone with this. Exactly. You're developing. You're still figuring it out. Number 3, telepathic messages. I'm trying to figure out this connection. Exactly. You're still figuring out what it is. I've never experienced anything like it before. And you won't. Red thread bond it's a very special connection. And you know, it's like other people can come and go from your life and they're not meant to stay forever, but there's some people that are meant to come back around. And it can be very hard when you see stuff online about if they wanted to, they would, and just stuff about don't go back to your exes and stuff. But people do it every day, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. People generalize a lot, and it's just not... It keeps everyone stuck and keeps people feeling like that you can't change, but you can. You just have to want to. People are complicated. Oh, the 7th of March or the 3rd of July, the 1st of April and the 4th of January. Your children, so there are children involved here then. Your children need to come first. Trust that they are part of our plan. Alternatively, if there isn't children already involved, it's about your inner children and needing to tend to the inner child that has the trauma that is broken and healing that part of you. But if this feminine already has a child and you know that, especially because there was travel, if you have to travel to them because they have a child, that's part of this as well. That child has to be the priority. And that child's stability and security and safety has to be the priority. So this feminine, if they have a small child or just a child in general, obviously when your kids get older you can move if you want to, but when they're small they need stability. The 2nd of November, that could be a point of communication for you two, and the 11th of February. Being mirrors was the channeled message. Being mirrors for each other makes self-love so important. I wish I was there to love you, but if I'm not, I want you to love and nurture yourself, and that's what you're both being called to do right now. I think you can see this feminine is loving and nurturing herself in the way that she's shining and putting herself out into the world. And that is pulling on you to do that. It's inspiring you to now do that, to love yourself and work on do your internal work. With union on the bottom, number 8, so August, I feel union, I feel the chemistry between us. We need to trust that the energy we share will bring us back together again. That's the truth. And number 10, I'm afraid you're going to meet somebody else before I'm ready to be with you for good, because you're not ready yet. You're in the middle of a season. You're working your way through it. And it's like a big part of your soul. Well, your soul knows you want to go back to this person and to make it work, but you're still working through a lot of stuff right now, and probably as well working on your stability and your mission in life. So you're not ready to offer anything yet. So there is a fear that this person will have moved on. I think I even said with that pregnancy card, maybe there's a little bit of you that's worried this person has moved on and will have a baby with someone else before you have got to a place that you're ready to come back. Alright, I want to get these. This is a new deck I've got that I've had for a while, but I've just never used it. It's called the Childhood Oracle cards. They're really cute. I actually originally got them for my son to use because he loves playing with my cards, but I wanted him to have his own little deck. But something told me to pull these out and use them today, so let's see what comes out. Same pull from the top. Luck is on your side. And number 9, you are going to close this chapter out. This picture is how you feel right now. Very unstable, like the boat's being rocked heavily right now, and you feel like you can't get your feet, but you will stabilize and it will be okay. You might feel like you're about to capsize, but you're not. Luck is on your side. It's all part of the ride. That's so cute. Let me get one more. Support. So they are supporting you through this. What number is that? 24. So you got 9 and 24. Maybe the 24th of September is a significant date. Someone's birthday, an anniversary, whatever. But this is something that you're being supported through right now. You are being divinely guided, and this is all going in your favor. It's just that you can't see it right now. They're wanting you to put the work in on yourself right now and keep persevering through things, because you will be so much more proud of yourself when you are on the other side of it, to know that you didn't give up. Those are really cute. Departure, a travel card. All right, so let's see, what is your current energy? What is the universe's perspective of your current energy? And this is the animal spirit deck, this one. The beaver. So you're working steadily on building your stability and building a permanent, more secure life for yourself. The beaver is consistent and dependable and constantly working towards a goal and not giving up. You really are you're working on it. You're building your dam. One more. I'll get 2 for you, and then I'll pull 2 for your feminine to see where she's at energetically. One more for the collective, please. No, that's too many. But you got the deer, the lizard, and the wolf. Just one more, please, for this collective. The scorpion. So you have a bit of a bite to you. This could be that you have, when you're upset, you could have a bit, you could sting with your words. But let me find the pages. And as well, the beaver is water and the scorpion's fire. So I feel as though you have a sensitive side, but you also have a very fiery side. That your sensitivity, you might lean more towards the fiery side, but you actually need to tap it more into the water elements of yourself that are, instead of running from your sensitive side, realizing that it's actually one of your biggest strengths. Hard worker, loyal, tireless, and family first. The beaver personality is a welcomed sight. Beautiful. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of the earth element, providing a home and financial stability. And that is what you're trying to build for yourself right now. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term steady effort, forward steady movement. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, which is selfless service. When in balance, happy and meaningful work. When out of balance, feels useless and worn out. To bring into balance, physical labor and selfless service. All right, the Scorpion. Oops. Passionate, competitive, tends towards isolation. So I think you're actually, I know I said this was about your feminine, but I actually think that you're someone that is actually put yourself, like self-imposed isolation, because you are trying to stabilize your life. You're putting in the hard work, and you also want to do the internal work, and that takes being isolated a lot of the time because you can't have all these other energies interfering in that internal work. The Scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. These are both determined, very masculine energy. Their career is very important to them, so you are working on your career. Both of these feel very much like you are very much working on your financial stability right now. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. The Scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual fiery but fun self. When in balance, wild and free, fierce. When out of balance, jealous, resentful, and unresolved. To bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness. I think that's a big theme here as well, is forgiveness towards your feminine, towards yourself, and as well being honest with yourself about your feelings for this feminine and revealing those feelings to them too. I'm really happy with the bear on the bottom. Very strong energy. This feels very good. All right. Can we get 2 for the feminine energy, please? Oh, pretty. Look at the hummingbird. All right, the feminine energy, please. 2 for the feminine energy, please. Perfect. Oh, yeah, I'll take it. That's 4 for the feminine, so that's crazy. Oh, I've never had the firefly before. That's pretty. Okay, so you've got water. Earth. Is that air or fire? I'm not sure. Let me find the pages. All right, so starting off with the starfish, beautiful, alluring, superficial or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. And that could be why as well your jealousy gets triggered because of their beauty. It's like the attention they get just naturally used to activate a lot in you, instead of feeling like, yeah, proud, that's my girl. It was more like she's going to leave me for someone else. I heard that specifically. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. the problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? So you might remember this feminine as well as being like a people pleaser and always putting themselves last, which kind of did come out. It was like you remember them as being so loving and compassionate towards you to a fault, where they were putting their love for you above the love for themselves. When in balance, uplifting, artistic, and expressive, and they have some kind of platform that you can see. When out of balance, gossips and feels empty, to bring into balance positive friends. And maybe that's what they were lacking in the past too. You remember them not having the best friends around them, but they didn't see it at the time. Octopus, reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction, and maybe that's part of it too. They lacked boundaries with these friends in the past. The octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. So again, this feminine, the people-pleasing tendencies cause them to overextend themselves and expose themselves to people that will take advantage. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. So also maybe they overshared their private things. They believe that's what it means to be close. If you notice, just quickly as well, that reminds me of like one of the traits that people with ADHD do is when someone's telling them a story and they can relate to it, they might cut that person off and say, oh my God, that's like the time, blah, 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 blah. And it's not that they're meaning to sound self-involved. It's because they're trying to connect, but they can tend to overshare with people when they feel like they've clicked with someone, and then without realizing it, letting the wrong people into their energy. They believe that's what it means to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of the octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries, be patient and firm. It may be a very old habit to change, and perhaps that they're appearing to you that way as well, that they're being very particular about who they give their energy to now. When in balance, interested, engaged, and intelligent. When out of balance, needy, clingy, and lacks courage. To bring into balance, space to oneself, and talk therapy. All right, let me find the other two. Okay, so I very much feel like this octopus and rabbit energy was how you remember them. And this starfish and firefly energy is where they're at now. Because I think I said earlier about if this feminine was someone that you remember to be quite shy or nervous or second guess themselves all the time, or constantly put other people's needs above them, they got very overwhelmed and they'd freeze because they were so overwhelmed. You remember them just being afraid of everything all the time. That's the rabbit energy. So the rabbit and the octopus feels like how this person showed up in the relationship in the past. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Kind of like if you keep being negative, you will draw negative attention. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. So that's how you remember them to be. They were constantly overthinking the future, that was their way of self-sabotaging. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words, O rabbit, they shape your destiny. When in balance, sensitive, problem solver and good listener. But when out of balance, over-explains and talks fast. I feel like this is how you remember them. To bring into balance, a day of silence. Okay, so what was the other one? Firefly. So I think that's fire. Or it could be air, actually. Hang on. Yeah, it's air. Firefly, inspired and fantastic yet fleeting. I really feel like octopus and rabbit is their past energy, and firefly and starfish is their current energy. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. There's a lot of beauty in this feminine. This high frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the Firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is Firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, writes, creates, and brainstorms. Social media. When out of balance, burnt out and feels dull. To bring into balance, write a poem or draw. That's beautiful. Okay, I just want to get messages. What is it that you would want to say to this feminine right now? And then we'll get the spill the tea deck and a timing card. All right, messages please from this collective to the feminine. Addictions clouded my vision. I'm trying to get my life together, and that's what came out in what this connection is. There were addictions around this, and perhaps as well there were things that you didn't admit to around addictions as well. I don't care what people think anymore. So you were listening to outside opinions. You were someone that was quite impressionable, and even if you pretended you weren't, even if you believed to yourself you weren't, you went to other people for advice and opinions and you listened to it. But I don't care what people think anymore. I've been given bad advice. This is people that don't understand your connection, so why bother going to them? And as well, you have to look at their relationships. Are they people you should be going to for advice? I've been given bad advice. I'm listening to my intuition. I know you are the one. I just heard practice what you preach. So maybe you're someone that was like, say to your feminine, you were like, don't talk to other people about our connection because they won't understand, and other people will get in your ear with their opinions, even if they're not the right opinions to have. But in fact, that's what you were doing. You'd kind of tell on yourself a lot, because when you tell your feminine not to do something or you accuse them of something, it's because that's what you would do or were doing. Practice what you preach. You didn't put up with my shit. You crushed my big ass ego, but that made me respect you even more. So maybe it even got to a point where before, when the feminine was constantly putting their love for you over their love for themselves and their self-respect, they reached a point where they just had enough. And you weren't expecting that because you were used to them always putting you first. Please unblock me. Yeah, that's me calling from an unknown number. If you think you're blocked, or if you know you're blocked and you do want to reach this feminine, there's ways to do it. It doesn't have to be. There's email, there's letters, there's using a different phone, there's social media. The grass wasn't greener. I regret my actions. I'm a fool. Yeah, I tried to replace you, but it didn't work out because I'm madly in love with you and I was fighting it. I know this is divine. That's under I don't care what people think. I've been given bad advice. So the people that were around were like, she's not the one for you, she makes you unhappy, when really it was that you needed to work on yourself and she needed to work on herself. But instead of telling you that maybe you should resolve things and work on it, it was always leave her. She's making you unhappy. She always was the scapegoat. To leave her instead of fixing things. As well as there's plenty of fish in the sea, all that kind of generic dating advice where they were telling you, you'll get over her, just go with something. They might have even encouraged you to go sleep around and you did. Just terrible advice that you're not listening to now, and you realize that it was stupid of you to even go to these people for advice. But when you tried to replace this feminine, you couldn't. It might have been a good distraction for a while, but it was never going to be maintainable long term. And there's the element of, why did it take you to lose them to realize what you had? It's just running away from your problems. I'm going to put a ring on it when the time is right. The Hierophant, marriage. Marriage was discussed here, but I think you do want to marry this feminine. I think ultimately your soul is calling you back to them. It's just that you're in the middle of a season right now and you're trying to gain your courage, gain strength again, get yourself back on solid ground financially and otherwise, build on your career so that you can make a real offer to this person of forever. This is someone you want to marry and be with for the rest of your life. You were different from the rest. They didn't mean anything to me. I only want you. Distractions. You were so smart. You have me figured out. All the things you use to all the stuff you did to distract yourself from growing and learning and evolving. You're not running from it anymore though, so that's good. But all that yucky stuff that you just did to distract yourself, it didn't, you know now that stuff was just a defense mechanism essentially. All right, let's get a timing card. Actually, we'll get timing and then we'll do spill the tea for the future of this. No, sorry, my mind's jumping all over the place. I'll get how this feminine views you. Then we'll get spill the tea. March. So March could be an important month for your connection, as in the cycles that you two shared. Maybe you got together in the month of March or you broke up in the month of March. But March is important here. An anniversary, a birthday, when you least expect it. So I think you're going to reach a point when you get to the end of this season. You're currently in the middle of it, but you're not going to know until it creeps up on you. And then suddenly you're going to be like, I'm ready to reach out. And it's not something that is going to happen over time where you're slowly getting ready to reach out. It's just suddenly going to hit you. You're not going to expect it. And then you're going to be like, actually, I'm ready now. It's worth waiting for. So it's worth all the time and dedication you're putting into yourself. That's nice. So maybe March of next year will be when you're ready, but faster than you think. One more for that. In a few days. So I actually think when you least expect it, in a few days, something is going to initiate you to reach out to this feminine in some capacity. Even if it's to discover you're not even blocked. But there is an energy that's shifting that's going to push you to want to reach out. It's not time yet to be back together, but there is something that is going to initiate you to initiate contact between you two. And you've got June as well. So March and June are important months for this connection. And again, anniversaries, birthdays, points of communication, engagements, or I guess that could be anniversaries. All right, Let's see how this feminine feels about you, and then we'll spill the tea on what you can expect moving forward. How does this feminine feel about this collective, please? Reincarnation. So they believe that you two have shared multiple lifetimes together. You always find each other in different capacities. It could be in other lifetimes you were siblings or parents to each other or friends. Or you've been lovers in every lifetime, but yeah, they got trauma as well. So you both feel the same way about things that happened during this connection that caused trauma for the both of you, but also they recognize that you were acting out of your own trauma too. Just, you are mirroring. So how you feel, like you can see now that the feminine, the way they acted in conflict or how they handled disagreements or just uncomfortable feelings, the way they acted that out was coming from their trauma, and they understand that the way you acted out was coming from your trauma. So you actually have quite a good understanding of one another. But that being said, they would feel, because you remember them being so accepting of you and loving you and having compassion for you, putting their love for you above themselves. So they would know when you were acting out that it was because of trauma that you'd been through in your life. They were accepting of that, but they shouldn't have been accepting bad treatment of themselves by you. Surprise call. So maybe they're thinking about reaching out to you. But it could also be that their intuition is telling them that there's going to be some kind of connection, but some kind of communication soon, especially because you got when you least expect it. Something in the next few days is going to initiate contact between the two of you. Something's going to push you to reach out to this feminine, and maybe they're picking up on that energy. Whether it's a call, a message, or you reach out to them on social media, it's like they can feel the energy of it. And they might not even be conscious of it. It's a feeling they have. Reincarnation. Hidden gem. So this is your hidden potential. They actually see you as someone so rare. This also says high value and beauty. So I actually think this person really feels so drawn to you, so attracted to you. And maybe that was a point of contention in the past too, because because this feminine oozes this natural magnetic beauty that they get just attention from people, and that created jealousy in you, you never truly understood what they saw in you. You didn't feel like, as in, you saw this feminine as out of your league, but this feminine just saw you as the most beautiful. They were so attracted to you, and you held the highest value in their mind. It's like they didn't see anyone else but you, but all you could see was how much attention they got from others, but they only wanted your attention, but you weren't seeing it clearly. It's kind of like I'm seeing someone saying, yeah, these other people compliment me, but I feel nothing when they do it. I only feel something when you tell me I'm beautiful. It's that kind of thing. You couldn't understand. You didn't see the value in yourself, but they saw the value in you. They just think I just heard magnificent. It's not even a word I normally use, but they're just mesmerized by you. You have an energy that they can't replace either. They're just magnetized to you. And that could be why they feel like you've reincarnated in every lifetime together. You've meant to find each other because you're just pulled towards each other. As a detail too, you might have just gotten a new crystal. They might have just gotten a new crystal. Under trauma, you've got wisdom. So they realize that if you can get in touch with that side of you that seeks truth and is thirsty for knowledge, and that when you really tap into your intuition, you understand yourself better. It's like they know that you were acting out of trauma, but in those moments you weren't understanding that. But they believe that you do know, some part of you does know this. They see you as someone that's very wise, even if it's not like, say, book smart, but you're street smart, I just heard, or you're someone that's very wise and intelligent. You don't need to have a degree or something to prove that. You're the Hierophant. You are spiritually enlightened. You are spiritually wise. People are drawn to you. You have good advice to give, but a lot of the time you lack that self-awareness for your internal growth. It's like you can practice what you preach. Surprise call. Celebration. I think this person really wants to hear from you. I actually think it'll make them really happy to hear from you. Even though it's not time to reunite or anything, but celebration to confirm surprise call, I think it's going to be welcome communication. It's not someone that's going to, if they hear from you, they're going to blast you kind of thing. But at least their energy can sense that you're balancing your masculine and feminine energy, and you are. You're just in the middle of it right now. All right, let's spill the tea. Moving forward, what can this collective expect? And then we'll get a divine door for you. Close this message. What is your advice moving forward, please? Partial truth. So that might be something you have a tendency to do, talk in circles or try to talk your way out of it and not giving the whole truth. That's something you need to work on. Only sharing parts of the truth that benefit oneself. That's something that you need to work on. Past life echoes. Some connections or feelings feel like echoes from a past life, and that's what this is. This connection is something that's always meant to come back into your life. I just heard Stargate. Did you ever watch that show Stargate? It's reminding me of that picture. And Labyrinth. Silent understanding. Unspoken understanding creates a deep connection. Adventure awaits. An unknown adventure awaits in the relationship, and that's true. It is coming. It's just not ready yet because you're in the middle of it. You're in the middle of your growth season. Bad influence, and this is the distractions that you went to. Someone is having a negative influence on your life. Stop getting advice from people because it's bad advice, even if it's well-intentioned. You've got to remember, misery loves company, and people that have bad relationships should not be giving advice, especially if they don't want to see you outgrow them. So just be very cautious who you're getting advice from and who you're spending time with. Be very considerate about and calculated about who you're also giving your energy to. Because Because if you leak your energy to these people that are bad influences, then that means you have less energy to focus on your own growth. Quiet contentment. You will hear the lessons you need to hear in quiet contemplation. Simple companionship brings you peace and satisfaction. And maybe that's something you're going over too. When you were with your feminine and it was just you two, and you, in those quiet moments when you two weren't talking, but you were just, I don't know, cuddling on the couch or having these intimate moments where it's not like things needed to be said. You just understood each other and you felt at home in each other's presence. And that brought peace to your soul. Trust that. Because it's not the imbalance that mattered, it was the peaceful stuff that mattered. But you need to work on the person you turn into when things aren't going your way. That's where the growth needs to be. Not taking more than you give. And spill the beans. Someone is about to reveal everything, no holds barred. I think that's you. And that could be this impulse to initiate communication with this feminine to clear the air. And that's part of you, that's part of your growth, to clear the air, to create room for closure in that space so you can both heal. So that maybe perhaps March of next year, a reunion can actually happen. Let's get you a divine door. What's the closing message for this collective, please? A distant kiss, a distant kiss in a prayer flag. This is my favorite card. I wish of all wishes that you were here through sunlight and rain. I need you here. Beautiful.